really had something going there with him, but they just didn't go with it, which was so odd. But considering he got the big match with John Cena, I thought this guy, when you look at the way he works, I think he's an incredible worker. I think he's another guy who's very, very, not he's underachieved in a lot of ways here, and I don't think he's looked upon as much as he should be. I mean, he could be a huge, huge player, but they just didn't want to go that way. So he's had to come up with another way here, Matt, and it isn't. The problem is although he's over, Matt, on the flip side of that, it's one of those characters that's probably looked upon by Vince McMahon and going, yeah, he's a funny guy. That's it. We can't take him serious. And that's the problem. It's like you kind of get that flip switch. You think, yes, I'm over. But then how the character, is it worthy of a main event guy that Vince is looking at and going, yeah, that'll work. That's the problem for me. But in this match as well, Matt, we got poor old Jinder Mahal, who I actually thought I predicted last year at some point before Survivor Series that he was actually going to be going into WrestleMania as the champion. I had visions of him coming in on an elephant, for God's sake. And, all this amazing entrance that they could do, the modern day Maharaj and all this nonsense. I thought that would be fantastic. What an entrance they could do for that. But what a poor guy. He's only in this division. And then, of course, we've got Bobby Roode, who, hasn't got to those heights yet. But again, he's got an amazing entrance here as well. I mean, speak of entrances, you can't get any more better than that at the moment with the music. Just a side note on Bobby Roode. I don't know if you saw it, Matt, but Ride Along, the great program that it is on WWE Network. I don't know how the hell I got watching it, but I did. It had Bobby Roode in it, travelling with AJ Styles. Have you seen that one? Or
no, I have not seen that one.
It might have been quite new, to be honest with you. It just came up as a recommendation. I was like, how have I got recommended that? I've never watched one. But anyway, I was recommended it nonetheless. And I was watching it, and I don't know if you knew this, Matt. I certainly didn't. But AJ said, was it true that Shinsuke Nakamura was originally going to have your music? And he said, yeah. Can you imagine that?
Oh, wow.
Apparently, the glorious theme tune that has got Bobby Roode over to the established thing. You think of that character, you think of Bobby Roode. That music originally was for Shinsuke Nakamura. Unbelievable. How could that could have changed things a lot, couldn't it? Just seeing Shinsuke coming out of that.
It was perfect for a heel character. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So odd, but thank goodness they didn't run with that. And Bobby Roode at the time, when they said, "Well, you're getting Shinsuke's music that he would have had," apparently he was like a bit down on it because he was thinking, "Hang on, I got somebody's seconds here that he didn't even want." So, but of course, he actually said on the ride along, he was like, "The best thing that's ever happened to me in 19 years is my music." So there you go. Glorious will be there as well, and of course the champion Randy Orton. And man, if ever a career would go like a heartbeat, Matt, it's like his, isn't it? Up and down, all over the show. His career path is just so inconsistent, isn't it, Matt? And this is, again, from last year. He won the Royal Rumble. He was in the main event against Bray, and now he's here in the United States position. But, has Randy Orton become one of those guys now, Matt, where you go where we need you to fit now?
Yeah, he definitely is. He's a great utility kind of guy, isn't he? You can play him in any area. You can put him in the mid-cards, you can put him in the main events, And it's not a discredit to the guy because, he definitely works at the top level anyway you place him. But, it kind of makes you feel like he's not always at the top level then because if he's like mixing it in like he is now in the US title kind of division. I know John Cena did that and it added credibility to it, but Randy Orton's like, he's paid his dues like 10 times over. He's far beyond that, and I feel like sometimes we see too much of him. I feel like it would be better off if he took a little bit of time off, and then when he did make his appearances, he'd get more of a reaction because it would be more of a special thing to see him. I know he's still definitely got the fitness to go in and week out, but I'm not sure he necessarily has to.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm looking. I mean, you look at the people on this match. In this match, man. I mean, a lot of quality there. You've got to say, like, first and foremost, all four guys can't really fault anybody out of that. Like, individually, this is, on paper, should be a great match. Fatal 4-Way, not one of my favourite matches, but I'm glad they've changed it from the triple threat, because I just didn't want to see two triple threat matches on one card. I was like, they would just be comparing them too much, and fans will just lose interest on the one that goes after. So I'm glad it's a Fatal 4-Way. Again, there's 3 baby faces in this on paper and one sort of heel, which is an uncomfortable formula, but it can work. Match-wise, Matt, what are we going to get here? Are we expecting something good, or, is this... I get the feeling there's going to be some good spots in this match. Like, I just see with, Randy setting up the RKOs, and, with Rusev's, the amount of people that are into him. I think this is a match that fans will be into, and I think it could be quite an enjoyable match with everything. The sort of reactions from the fans-wise, Matt, with Bobby Roode in there as well.
Yeah,
you don't sound too... I've built it up there, and you sound very negative on this one.
I just kind of feel like it might be a bit of a time filler, really.
Right.
They'll give it the amount of time that they need to, or whatever's comfortable for them. I just feel like it's too obvious that Randy Orton's going to win. I feel like that's already the conclusion they've drawn up. It would be silly for him to come out there and drop it in about a month since the last time he won it. I feel like him having that title is supposed to mean something, that he's carrying it to sort of up its prestige for now, and that whoever takes it from him is going to be quite a struggle. So I don't feel we're going to get that kind of story told in the Fatal 4-Way. Just kind of feel like we're showing off 4 guys who deserve to be at WrestleMania, but they didn't have anything better for them to do.
No, and I agree to that to a certain extent. I think what will get this over a little bit more is just the reactions they're going to get from the audience. I just think with the Bobby Roode in there, the glorious Rusev at the moment is on fire, and everyone loves it when the RKO comes at some point. I just see them having some good moments in there, some spots. I've thought about the winner here. Now I know I'm taking it you're pushing definitely with Randy Orton on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going Rusev on this one. I'm going Rusev. Normally I wouldn't. Normally I play safe and I look at it logically. I go with Randy 100%. But I'm just going to go with Rusev. I know he's the last added in this, but I've got a feeling they're going to go Rusev here. So that's my prediction. A bit of a wild card one there. Randy for Matt there. But tell us your opinions as well, folks. I'm interested to know because on paper, any of those guys could walk out. It makes sense for any of those guys to win the belt in a lot of ways. In fact, the guy that's got the belt is the least one, actually. But in terms of if he didn't already have the belt, he'd be the one who'd probably say he doesn't need it. But he's got the belt, and that's, of course, what Matt is talking about. I mean, if Rusev wins, by the way, it doesn't do much good for Randy, does it? But, we'll see. Okay, just wanted to while we're talking about WrestleMania, just break it up a little bit here. Matt, have you seen... I sent you the video yesterday. I mean, absolutely hilarious this was, especially the first 5 minutes of it. Where Triple H and Stephanie are doing their annual walk around the Access. Man, Triple H looks so unimpressed for those first 5-10 minutes, where he was like getting the ump with a guy that come over from the shop. He's like, "Is that it? Is that what you give me?" And then the next bit where the camera guy was getting it all wrong and not pointing in the right direction. And yeah, he just looked absolutely... He was completely knackered from everything that's going on. Or he'd had enough of Stephanie by that point. I don't know what it was. But he certainly wasn't... He certainly couldn't do much to sort of cover up, I felt, how he was feeling a little bit for all that. But first come, Matt, I mean, how impressive does all that look? I mean, I've never been to one. I've heard about them. I have a couple of friends that go every year, and they say they get bigger and better every year, that the queue system is really good. It's not like a typical convention where you get those poxy bloody... You just buy them and then you have to wait forever. Apparently there's a really good system. And they're really quite quick, apparently. They're really fast, and there's so much stuff to do. But, I've got to say, I know that we don't always talk about WWE in giving back to fans. But I mean, they really do an excellent job at these things by the sounds of it. And some of the stuff they were showing, Matt, I don't know if you got to see it all, but like some of the stuff you could do look really amazing and really really good stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean it's incredible, really. When people want to go to see WrestleMania, it isn't always a guarantee it's going to be in the area that's perfect for you to get to. Mm-hmm. But at least if you know when you go there, you've got this, then you can actually find something to do throughout the day as well.
Yeah,
which is great news. And when I hear about the wrestlers there, you can go meet, signings you can get. It's incredible. And just that kind of interaction is what you can't get really from any other sport. Mm-hmm. Just how much like the wrestlers, just like the people that are watching it in the audience, they're fans themselves. They get that. We spoke many times about the way that Bayley got her position. Like she went through all this. Just travelled around and met all the people, and then that's how you actually develop your passion. That's what little interactions. People coming to WrestleMania this year. There's almost a guarantee that one of those people is going to be a future wrestler at some point.
Yeah, well,
about the experiences.
Yeah, well said, and it looked absolutely amazing. I mean, the thing I really liked the entrance thing that they do now as well. And I know that they were saying before you could only have like selected wrestlers, but now you can walk out to any entrance you want. They play the music, they give you some little props. You can get the upload straight away. You can just download it straight after you've done it. I mean that's kind of the stuff that, I know it sounds a bit geeky, but like I would love that kind of stuff, so I'd be well up for that. And I don't know if you saw the bit where they were doing promos, Matt, as well, which I thought was quite funny as well. That looked pretty cool. I'd love to put one of our mutual friends on that. I'd love to see what come out on that one. That's all I could think at the time. But yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. And, I think they said something like 200 plus talent are in and out of there all the time, and I mean that's incredible. That many wrestlers, and they don't just have like active guys; they also have the legends turn up and Hall of Famers. So, and the stuff where you can look around like all the old gear. That's like for me, I am a bit of a sort of geek for sort of going back and looking at some of the older stuff. Like I love that kind of stuff and looking at the older tires that people wore, the old belts and stuff like that. And I liked the entrances that they got from like all the different promotions, like ECW as well. Like they propped them up all over the place. But yeah, I mean, what a great interactive thing that has become. I mean, it's been going on for a long time now, but it looks so much more advanced than it ever was. And yeah, an amazing job there. And definitely something, Matt, that we need to do. We need to tick it off, and hopefully, we're hoping. In a little hint here, we are hoping to announce something quite big. Just a little hint, a heads up for everybody on the podcast that listens. Everyone asks me, when will the day be that you go to WrestleMania? So we're hoping. We're not going to say yet, but we are hoping to announce something very, very soon, with a bit of luck, for a future WrestleMania that we may be able to get to. Which will be absolutely brilliant. Okay, now let's move on now, Matt, to the Intercontinental Championship, which is a triple threat match. The Miz, of course, he's becoming Father of the Year award at this rate, isn't he, on Raw? I mean, blimey. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. And again, much like the US title match, Matt, three incredible talents here. Can't really fault too much about their work, that's for sure. And the Miz, who I was never a big Miz fan, I've got to say, but last couple of years, this guy, just the way he carries himself, the stuff he does, like I hear from the grapevines, he is one of the most hard-working guys outside of the ring. Like he'll if they need an appearance, Miz will do it. If they need him to stay late, Miz will do it. He's become a real company guy to go out and talk to people. He's good at talking anyway. He's very good at how he delivers his lines. He's very professional, and I think there is star quality with him. I just wonder if they ever really used him properly in the first go around when he had the belt. I know that people will look back at that and go, that was a complete disaster. But I do wonder if he was handled correctly. But yeah, Miz, Intercontinental Champion. Some people argue he should be more. I think he's He's excelled. He's made that belt mean something a bit more for me as well, the Intercontinental Championship. I love the way he carries around with it. For Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, I don't know what they're doing there, but it's got